So, good morning to all of you. Okay, thanks, Jose, for that wonderful introduction. Okay, Z-Sense is focused on smart townships. So the approach has been that how do we start that from homes like smart homes to a smart community. So it is all about how do we enable the smart township and do the life cycle management. Now the life cycle management is pretty important because it's not about one-time creation or set up something and then go away. And it doesn't work because there are those residents who would be staying there for years to come, and they really would like to get that assurance that whatever has been set up as the smart infrastructure indeed would be serviced. Now, if you look at it, the concept of smart township has been there for quite some time, all right. However, there have not been many examples in the sense that in a holistic way, in a comprehensive way, smart townships setups have been very few. And even there, some of them have not achieved the kind of maturity that people would expect in terms of the availability or in terms of accessibility or in terms of the cost efficiencies and so on and so forth on that. So just as this buzzword of smart city is there, smart township, and when you combine multiple of the smart township, a smart city also can be realized. So the basis of connecting smart townships to smart city is that once you have the townships and buildings becoming smarter, then obviously there is a greater chance that this city would also become smarter. So a smart township would always has multiple modules, and right now we are focused on the security safety, while the roadmap really has multiple aspects like the water, energy, in terms of taking care of the elders, and all of them, how do we enable in a way which is very cost effective. Now, if you look at it, most of the builders, because we are talking about smart townships which are being built by the builders, when they talk about this smart township, there is always that label, but what is that they are providing inside the homes, what is that they are providing at the community level, what kind of facilities are being enabled in a way which can be called as a smart, that varies. If somebody says they provide a optical fiber to homes, they call their township as a smart. If there is a gas detector at home, and a video doorbell, people say that is a smart home. But in a way, if one was to look at the security, safety aspects of it, and then as a roadmap, if people would like to add many more features to that, this needs to be designed pretty well on that. So you really need to have a backbone network which can take on a lot of these kind of devices. Okay, that's the sensors, the devices, the gateways, all of them have to be connected. So our approach is, firstly you need to look at the design aspect of it. You need to automate. So automate, you need to connect, automate, and analyze. That is the kind of an approach that we really are working with multiple builders to enable that. The other aspect is that when a certain digital infrastructure is being given by builders, when I say this, there is a certain backbone network. They may be providing a couple of boom barriers. At homes, they may be giving a VDPs and call that as a smart township, or say that this is all what I have. So if you examine what is really required to address many of the safety, security aspects of it, and then also the certain energy management or a few other features of it, we would require an incremental cost. So our approach is that you have a certain budget. You are putting certain cameras and a video surveillance. Why not add analytics to that? If you have a boom barrier, etc., how can we automate that? How can we enable RFID and again generate a certain analytics? And why not we have a visitor management which is completely driven out of mobile applications, and then again you have a security analytics coming in. So the thing is that whatever infrastructure that is being provided by builders, we are saying there is an incremental cost you add to that, and add the layer of our IoT portal, then one really can enable the smart township. So this is again another illustration as I was talking about. Sorry. Yeah. So I think it went to a... Sorry, I need to go back on it. Okay. Yeah. So multiple townships could really, pave way to the a smart city. And when we are talking about multiple builders who are providing this kind of a smart infrastructure, there are many elements they have, which are not being addressed. Similarly, when residents are occupying, they have other issues. So what could happen is that, there is a perimeter because people are building smart township anywhere between 20, 30 acres to 130 acres. Actually, Brigade has one, which is the Brigade Archer, about 130 acres. We have 50 odd acres, being built by somebody like Purvankara. So the sizes are varying, but there is a perimeter which needs to be, protected. Now, how do we go about doing that? Do we just put some cameras, or there are, analytics that needs to be put in, or there are some areas which may have to be, enabled through radio waves and things like that. And in terms of automation, while there is always a security, a human effort, these human efforts are not really supplemented by technology in all aspects of it. Okay, then there is no single point solution provider. If they were to look at, hey, who's providing a video surveillance, who's looking at the automation of the access control, or is there somebody who's looking at a visitor management, saying that at the gate somebody is there, he's being seen by the resident, whether he is at home or he is outside, things like that. So there needs to be a design approach which can bring in all of them, and one need not really implement everything. So in other words, it need not be a 5-star, 7-star type of a a concept for a smart township, but one can look at these aspects at a cost which is really makes sense for both the developers as well as the residents. So we have taken an approach right from the homes where one can have a small gateway which can provide security, safety, and a video door phone so that the visitor can be seen by the residents where they are. And then going towards the perimeter, you provide various aspects and features which can be enabled, whether it is a perimeter security, visitor management, car management, and about even lighting automation. When we talk about lighting automation, there are many street lights and the exterior lights which are there. Many times what happens is that in the absence of automation, it's difficult to find whether there is a, things are lighted up or not, whether, somebody has switched off for the energy efficiency and things like that. In a poorly lighted environment is really an invitation for a lot of the security incidents on that. And in terms of some of the spaces, because what happens in a smart township, there are spaces which needs to be given back to the government, and that comes under the governance of the government or the local body on it. So when such a thing happens on it, how do you really ensure the automation of it? Do you really, so we have developed a switch which will enable at an incremental cost the automation, both the on-off, and it will get lighted, if the lights are below 60 lux, and similarly adjust for various schedules on that, do energy management, and also if the load is not there, it will also provide a lot of alerts and so on. So in all, it is from homes to the perimeter, all of them being covered through our design, through the adapters and various sensors, and everything connected to the portal. Just another illustration in terms of how do we combine video surveillance as well as providing in terms of certain photo beam which can really look at if people are jumping. Because what happens is that you need to catch things in a real time. While cameras can capture what has happened, who has come in and taken certain things, or there was an illegal access or so on. But in real time, if you are able to do that, then really you can avert the incident. And that is the emphasis that we are bringing through the analytics. So that means if somebody is, there is a loitering that is happening, or there is somebody who is jumping the wall, you really catch that event and really bring that alert to the security people and all the stakeholders, so that that particular event is prevented on that. And one can really, supplement human efforts with the technology through, guard patrol, because whether the guard is sleeping or whether he is really, reaching all the spots of the community and things like that, that can be enabled through a lot of smaller sensors, which are, not very expensive at all on that, so that there is an element of, accountability that comes in to people who are engaged in managing these kind of townships. In terms of the access control, I talked about right from visitor, staff, vehicle, and residents. All of this can be enabled through certain sensors, as well as the mechanisms which can be implemented through the portal. And just to give an example, in many of the townships, which may be as big as a 600 villa or a 3,000 apartments and so on, so you do have a lot of staff which are working there. Maybe they are drivers, maidservants, cooks, and so on and so forth. So their population is huge. Any point of time, if you go to some of these and ask them, really how many people are in today who are other than residents? Have they already exited or not? The person who has come to repair, your telephone or a dish, has he really exited? He was supposed to exit about, in 2 hours. Has those things happened or not? See, there is really no mechanism for it. So all of them can be analyzed, and brought in. Let us say at 6 o'clock certain exits have to happen. If that is not happening, those exceptions can be brought in, and the security people can really think, hey, he was supposed to be, getting out of the blockade, why it has not happened on that? So in a way, it is all increasingly becoming, must have. Because there is a notion among the builders and, or at least which was strong, now it is getting, somewhat diminished, that some of these are not affordable. And developers think they are not must. Anyway, they will have, the association may have a security and all that. Why would I think of all that? But that is changing. That's for the, that is the good news. And it is becoming affordable, and people are demanding that. Because eventually it's all, the security, safety becomes paramount, of high importance on it. And today, there are a lot of sophisticated incidents that are happening, which are not easy. So the prevention must be the focus through, all this kind of infrastructure and analytics. I already talked about the mobile-enabled streetlight management. Through our partner, actually, we have enabled the streetlights in Vizag, about 3,000 of them, LED lights, which can be, switched on, switched off through a single interface on the web or through the mobile phone. So this is our architecture in terms of the, a smart home, because, you need to connect all the homes and really make a smart community, and all of them can be scaled. So, while we talk about the security, safety, and visitor management being the minimal, one can add, lighting automation, energy management, and other lifestyle-related feature. So what we are saying is things needs to be thought through in terms of where you can have very minimum of them and really grow in terms of the scalability. There are various dashboards which are for the stakeholders, who could be a security manager or administrator for the community, or one who's looking at, the maintenance aspects of it. There are energy dashboards, there are dashboards for the, security people who could look at, are there any incidents of, there could be a gas leak detection or an intrusion or any other those kind of things happening. So, so it is all role-based and always available through the portal. Okay, this is our architecture, where it uses a lot of the IoT infrastructure. It's implemented on Microsoft Azure. We could also, put it on to, let's say, an IBM, Bluemix, or Amazon, and so on. So there are these sensors that are depicted just for illustration onto it, and you have a lot of infrastructure in the, cloud. We have applied a patent for it, for the method of integration for the, township. There are energy management solutions available which are integrated, because what's happening is that more and more this needs to be self-governed. The government is going to do less and less, and more things has to be done by developers, at this time of design to execution of it. So energy's cost is going to go, more and more. So a lot of this could be a street light, or could be pumps, or could be any other common facilities. It's important to do the energy management, so that it pays, the ROI is really so that within a year, one can recover the cost of whatever automation that is put in. I've just put in certain logos here, whether it's Johnson Control, Tyco, Honeywell. So a lot of these devices and sensors we use from third parties, okay, and we also make certain hardware ourselves on it. So there are layers which are like an adapters, which will bring in this sensor data to our portal and enable the management. So these are some of our customers, be it Prestige, Vaishnavi, Concard, and all of them. So we do have an enduring relationship where we have enabled multiple modules. Not necessarily that all modules are, already in there onto it, but many of them, primarily if you look at a video surveillance or visitor management and few other things, they have established at many of their, properties. So these are few case studies. Jose is already standing, so hinting me, so I may not take them. So this is all about ROI. In fact, in the Prestige Shantiniketan, this is about 100+ acre property where 3,000+ apartments are there. So when we looked at it, it was all, it's a great story of retrofit where newer type of video surveillance has brought in. There were again islands of automation. Not every towers were connected. So we have put in the optical backbone to get a lot of this video surveillance and the security stuff to come in and to be centrally managed. So through the reduction of guards and other efforts, about a 1 crore project has given them an ROI of 1.6 crores. And these, figures can be really verified on that. There is another one which is just in front of this property, which is One Bangalore West by Phoenix. So this is again about a 600 apartment kind of an property where we have done again a video surveillance, access control, as well as other aspects of the security and safety on an optical backbone. Already, the occupation has started on that. So here, our value add was right from a design space, and they had a lot of budget constraints on it. We were able to bring in a reduction in the budget by about 30%, and without compromising any of the features. Okay, some of the testimonials are here, and all of us have worked in IT industry. I worked at Wipro looking at the product engineering. Similarly, many of my colleagues that worked at Wipro and other IT companies on it. So this is the pitch I wanted to share with you today. Thanks for your time. I will be available here for any other questions, clarifications, and opportunities that we could discuss mutually. Thank you.